Welcome to Survival Mode. Today's topic is, what is your evacuation plan?
This is hurricane season.
Yes, what is your evacuation plan?
This is hurricane season, you all. And hopefully, many of you, if you haven't already, you are now thinking about an evacuation plan.
Yes. And also you want to know exactly where you're going, exactly how you're going to get there, how long it's going to take you,
Right.
and when you're leaving.
Right. Now, one of the things that we could say, just with what's going on right now with Hurricane Ian and how many people were trapped in that hurricane, a lot of them didn't leave.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't leave. A lot of them stayed behind.
Yes.
And they found themselves like one of the gentlemen said in his news interview when he said he thought he had more time to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went back to sleep. And when he woke up, his mattress was floating.
Oh.
And there was another interview done where the lady said that she only had about a foot of headspace between her float on whatever she was floating on and the ceiling of her house. She only had about a foot left. You see, so she didn't get out. So hopefully you all, when you all hear these news stories, that you don't think that, oh, this could never happen to me.
Yes.
Create an evacuation plan.
Yes. And also people, have to go through the ceiling, through the roof to get out. I'm glad that they had something to use to get out.
Yeah, I'm gonna close this.
So evacuation is very serious.
Indeed.
You want to know exactly how you're gonna get out of Dodge when it's time to get out of Dodge.
Absolutely.
And also, do you have a bug out bag?
Well, yeah. Now, actually, before we go any further, move on, when it talks about that destination, keep in mind, you all, that destination does not have to be a long way away.
Yes.
Sometimes it could be just to an area where you may have a friend or a family member that lives in a safer area when it comes to hurricanes. Maybe they live further inland.
Yeah.
So that's definitely an option.
Yeah.
But like he said, knowing where you're going to go and how you're going to get there.
Yeah. And also, a lot of times when they say this storm's going to make a right turn this way, and this storm's going to go this way, well, at first they had the storm projected to go towards Tampa.
True.
But it made a turn early and went across Fort Myers.
True. Man.
So you got to know, hey.
Some people weren't even ready.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, some people weren't even ready for that.
And I think that the people that stayed, they had no idea.
Yeah. So
whenever a hurricane is coming in your area, you just got to evacuate, ahead of time.
Yeah.
Take it up on yourself.
That's true. Don't wait. Don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah. Don't
wait till the last minute to say, I'm going to get out. And I know a lot of times people will say, well, I got to work.
Yeah. But your job probably don't be there.
That's true.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have employers that'll say, well, I still need you to come to work. And then we got time,
Yeah.
Look, that's the last person you should be listening to.
Yes.
You don't listen to no employer tell you nothing when it comes to your safety, the safety of your life and your family members' lives and stuff.
Yeah.
They're not meteorologists.
No, they're not.
Right? So no, that's the last person that you should be listening to. I'm gonna tell you now. A lot of times they just want to make the money.
Yeah.
And they could care less about your life. And if they actually are telling you, I need you to stay. The storm ain't hitting for 8 more hours, but you got 8 hours worth of preparation to do.
Yeah.
So no, you tell them, look, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
A job will be there, but a life won't if something happens. So I'm going to say it again. Somebody who is an employer telling you that they need you to stay and go to work or come to work and a major storm is headed your way, that's the last person you should be listening to.
Yes. And also, this destination that you choose, it's got to be inland. right?
Right.
You want to make sure you get away from the storm surge, as far as possible,
Yeah, that storm surge could be devastating.
Yeah, flash floods.
Flash floods. Oh.
Yeah, because you see people floating in vehicles, you
That's
see
true.
houses going down.
Floating down the street.
Yachts, there's some serious.
That is.
So
that is. One man tried to ride out Hurricane Ian on his boat.
Wow.
And this is all public knowledge, you all. It's all news reports, right?
Yeah.
But when they interviewed him, he said all that was left of his boats was the boards that was up on the ground. That was it.
Yeah, that's a serious situation. Coming off that ocean.
Bad idea.
Ocean, water. If you did have a yacht, you probably should have went into the Gulf of Mexico further as you can get.
Away from the
ahead
storm.
of time,
Yeah, ahead of the storm.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
that's true.
So that evacuation plan goes to, you got a boat, cars, however you want to get out of town. You gotta make those plans ahead of time.
Right. And then make sure that you are assessing the risks too for you and your family.
Yes.
We appreciate the meteorologists who bring us these reports to kind of help us to keep an eye on the storm. But, keep your options open, just like they thought, like Mr. H just said, they had initially said that storm was going to make landfall near, was it Sarasota?
Yeah, Sarasota going towards Tampa.
Tampa area, and then it ended up hitting the Fort Myers area instead, like he said.
In Naples.
And the Naples. So
it slanted early.
Yeah. So one of the things you want to do is that you want to keep in mind that even though they say it may do one thing, you got to keep in mind God is in control here. So the final the final say so is his. So you want to keep in mind that if they say it's going to go in one way, if you're close to proximity to that area, you still want to be thinking about evacuation.
Yeah, at one time they had Georgia in the cone.
Yes, at one time we were.
And it turned early, and then it went back out, and then it came in through the Carolinas. And then it did some damage.
Did more damage in the Carolinas, in Charleston, I believe it was. Wow. So like Mr. H said, make sure you know your risk factors. Make sure you have your evacuation plan together.
Yes.
Now there's another thing. In the midst of all of this, you got to make sure you got cash on hand.
Yes. You got to have cash on hand because power could be out at all gas stations. ATMs everywhere. So if you get further away from the storm, you can buy food. Yeah. Yeah. Or
while you're getting out, banks could be closed. If power is out, no ATM usage, and other stores with ATMs, they just shut these systems down.
Yeah.
Cash.
You got to have cash on hand.
Yeah.
Because without, like having cash, on hand, that could be a critical role, for us, like you fueling up. What if you get to a gas station, like you say, the ATM is down, and then you have cash on hand? Oh man, you can fill your tank up.
And I would even say fill your tank up prior to the storm approaching.
Oh yeah.
Have a full tank of gas ready to go.
So you won't be in that long gas line.
Exactly. You just wanna especially in Florida, if you gotta get on the 95 to get out of there, you just wanna go to get ahead of the traffic,
Yeah.
But another thing about that is not leaving at the last minute, though.
Yeah, exactly, because there's only how many freeways? There's 2 freeways, north and south.
That's it.
You can't go east and west.
That's it.
You got the Gulf Coast on the west. Then you got on the east coast, you got the Atlantic Ocean.
That's it.
And as a matter of fact, the ocean was coming inside Florida.
Yeah.
All that water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to leave ahead of time.
Right. But
most definitely.
Get over here and
Most definitely, you want to leave ahead of time. You want to have evacuation plan. You want to have cash in hand. Right. And also in these bug out bags, you can have sandwiches. You got coolers full of food and water.
Yeah.
Not only a bug out bag, if you're traveling, make sure you stock those coolers up with sandwiches for the children, for your wife, everybody. Keep that energy up, you know?
That's right.
And also, another thing a lot of people underestimate is rest.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So you can have enough energy to keep on this journey.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You want to make sure you got good sleeping bags.
Yeah.
You know?
Comfortable.
Yeah.
As comfortable as can be.
Yeah. Because that rest is very important so you can think clearly on your feet.
Wow.
Because when you're tired, you're drowsy, driving, you can, things happen.
Right. And you can make some terrible decisions.
Yeah.
When you're tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So I would say, like, when it comes to that food, have a 5-day supply. I know they say 72 hours, but I'm going to stretch that. And I'm going to say at least 5 days, of food, because sometimes, especially, coming from like South Florida or, our home, Louisiana, coming from South Louisiana, when these storms hit, sometimes it's so many people that even once you get out of the danger zone and get into a more safer location. Yes. Well, keep in mind, you're not the only one getting into a safer location. And sometimes these places run out of food. So you need to have enough cash to get you as far away from the danger zone as possible and enough food to carry you, even if you have to travel further, just to be able to find maybe a hotel or get to a family member and find food. Yes. And water. You need to have water with you at all times. Look, don't wait to the last minute. If you buy water by the cases, always have one put to the side for an emergency purpose. And then when you open it to use it, replace it immediately, because that's your emergency water in case you have to, like Mr. H said, get out of Dodge.
Yes. And just to see exactly how a hurricane can change your life, you want to make sure you have these things on hand. Yeah. You want to make sure that you start now. Right. You want to start now because we don't know. It could be another storm coming. True. It could be coming our way. True. So we all got to get prepared now. Right. And it's time for everybody to get close and come together in case somebody call you and say, hey, a relative call and say, hey, can I stay at your place for at least a week or whenever? Yeah. We got to make sure that we take care of each other because 1.8 million people without power. So so it's a lot of people that's going to be moving around, Mrs. H.
It is. And even if they have to come and stay, that's the purpose of having a good sleeping bag. Yeah. Because if you're going to go and stay with somebody, they may not have a bed to accommodate you. Yeah. But if they got a living room floor, or you just need a roof over your head until you can figure out your next move, then that would help. Yeah. Having a sleeping bag to sleep on. They might give you plenty of blankets and pillows and all of that, but they might not have a bed for you. Yeah. Because they may have other people that came too.
Yeah. And so, having a sleeping bag in a situation where you can just have a go bag, that's like golden.
It is golden.
That's golden because you're gonna need that rest. You're going to need that rest. Yeah. And you're going to need non-perishable items in there too.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And, we'll talk more about like what to put in your go bag when you're bugging out. We're going to do that together. We'll talk about that. But one thing I want to mention about what you definitely want to make sure you have in your bag, other than food and water, when you're leaving an oncoming disastrous situation like a hurricane, make sure you have a freezer bag, sandwich bag, but you want to have something with printed copies of your driver's license, of your insurance cards, medical insurance card, homeowner's insurance card, flood insurance card, all of that information. You need to have that in a bag to make sure that, number one, it don't get wet. but it always should stay in that bag. That's why I said copies, not originals, copies.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that it's always in that emergency go bag.
And that'll avoid a lot of red tape, y'all.
Yeah.
When you call the insurance company, hey, I got these documents. I got proof for insurance.
Right.
You know, I lost, my whole house is total.
Right.
You know, and
right.
You got that at hand. So
right.
So that's something that you really need to have. Great point.
That's true.
Great point.
And you know what? Also, what about if you have to go to a shelter in your area? They do have evacuation shelters.
Oh, okay.
But what if you got pets?
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that shelter will take pets. Otherwise, you need another plan.
Yes. Yes.
Because you can't leave your animals in the house to drown.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have a plan.
Yeah. And I know, I feel sorry for the people, 1.8 million people, you know, without electricity. And just imagine how many people don't have a home now.
Right. So many people. And we're talking about Hurricane Ian, you all.
Yes.
We're talking about Hurricane Ian. I know this video will probably be up long past, you know, September, October of 2022.
Yes.
You know, so if you're watching this video somewhere way down the line, it doesn't matter. This is still going to be relevant information because it's all about hurricane preparedness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got to make sure you look out for your pets too. Food for your animals and everything, right? All right. So we talked about water. We talked about leaving ahead of time.
Yes, and we talked about the go bag.
We did.
Cash on hand.
We did.
Securing your destination.
Securing your destination. That's correct. All right. So I think we've covered everything. We did have a few notes here. Oh, we can't forget this one. You need to know who the disabled and the elderly people are that might be living around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might not know everybody in your neighborhood, but as a neighbor, if you can know the people to your right, to your left, and in front of you, you know, and if every neighbor did that, then that would be a way for the community to look after the elderly and the disabled. Yes. And if you know they live alone, communicate with them prior to. Yes. And let them know. I'm just putting, it might not be a hurricane coming right now, but I'm putting together an evacuation plan for myself and my family. And I just wanted to know if you had a plan in place. And if there is maybe family members or something like that you know you can call and rely on if you needed to evacuate, because some elderly people or disabled people, they may be confined to a wheelchair. Yes. Or they may have to, you know, they may have special needs, right? Yes. What is the plan for them? And I think that they would maybe appreciate it if you came with that concern just to say, hey, I just want to make sure nobody's left behind if we have to evacuate. Yes. So please keep the elderly and the disabled. Yes, that's very important to watch out for the elderly people. And if you have to call it, have them to call their relatives and, you know, to let them know, hey, we checking on them. Are you going to come get them? Yeah. When are you going to come get them? If things get serious, you know, that's a good point, Mrs. H. Yeah. And then also, I think that goes along with that are people who are considered to be without means. Yes. You know? Yes. To evacuate or leave. You know, sometimes you have communities where people don't have cars. Yes. Don't have a bicycle. Yes. You know, they have to get everywhere they have to go, either by bus or by foot. Yeah. So what about people like that as well? You know, we can't forget about anybody. Yes. You know, so if we know people like that, then I guess like the same thing would apply. Reach out and see if they got an evacuation plan. Yes. And if you are a person that don't maybe have the means to evacuate at the drop of a dime, then you definitely need to know your evacuation routes and who you can call ahead of time. Yes. To say, I'm concerned. I don't have a way to leave my house. There's a hurricane coming in 2 days, 3 days. I don't have a way to leave. I don't know what to do. I need some direction. You need to be making phone calls to see what can you do, and they may be able to provide some transportation if you call your local officials or evacuation locations. Call them ahead of time. And say, I don't have a way to leave. What can I do? Can you help me? And that way you won't be just like, you don't want to ever get caught being in a situation to where you can't leave, and then at the last minute when water's coming in, that's when we call 911.
That's the worst thing.
That's the worst thing to do.
Yeah. We can't do that because we see the examples every time a hurricane comes. People just sit and wait for the last minute, and then all of a sudden they say they want to leave.
Yeah.
So
that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, on that news program that we were watching, and one of the officials said when they were showing the video of the high winds and the water rushing down streets and all of that, he made it plain, we're not coming out in that to get you. So you need to leave ahead of time.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
They can't put their lives in danger because they have families too. So they can't go out in winds that are gusting 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
They can't do that. That wouldn't be wise. They would literally have to wait until it settles down in order for it to be safe enough for them to come to your rescue. So don't let it be that way. Yes.
So the lesson to what we just experienced is have an evacuation plan.
Evacuation plan.
And also, you got to have cash on hand, have a bug out bag, 5 days of supplies per person, food and water.
Yeah.
And
how much cash you think?
I would say as much as you can get.
As much as you can get.
Some people make more money than others, but as much as you can get.
As much as it'll take you to get out of harm's way.
Yes.
And to be able to feed yourself.
Yeah.
So I would say that ahead of time preparation, if you want to be able to feed yourself, you can go on over to Homestead Heart. We do a lot of canning over there. You can can up some things, and that could be your 5-day supply of food that you have to bug out with you.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then other things would be what you would put in your bug out bag, and don't forget, little sweet treats like hard candies for the children. That helps to reduce the stress levels for them and you as well.
Yeah.
So in that bug out bag, you make sure that you have what you need to get yourself to safety. All right. Cash on hand, however much your budget will allow.
Yeah. Non-perishable food items.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
And blankets.
Yeah. Of course, blankets.
Definitely want blankets.
Yes.
When you leaving, take blankets.
Yes. Yeah.
Because even if you got to sleep in your automobile in a safe place, if you got blankets and pillows, food and water, you might be okay.
Yes.
Because some people will do that. Some people will sleep in a Walmart parking lot until it's safe to go home.
Yeah.
Although Walmart ain't that safe no more in they parking lots. But some people will find a safe place
to park.
Parking lot, rest area, or whatever to sleep.
Hotel parking lots.
Hotel parking lots. You just never know if they can't afford to get a room. They may sleep in their vehicles, and having blankets and pillows ahead of time. These are things that you can collect ahead of time before a storm ever comes in.
Yeah.
Even if you can't go out and just go buy extra, well, you got them on your bed already. Just take those with you and put them in your vehicle, and have those on hand, and make sure a change of clothes.
And just try to beat the crowd.
Beat the crowd.
Leave early so you won't waste gas sitting in traffic.
Oh man, that's key.
You don't want to do that.
That's key. Not wasting gas, because you can burn a tank of gas sitting for hours in traffic just trying to leave, especially places like South Florida, Southern Louisiana. You can really burn a lot of gas.
Ooh, yeah, you want to get out early, as early as possible, because once you get stuck in traffic and traffic jam all the way out, because one time in Houston when they had a hurricane, people got stuck on the freeway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just burning gas.
Right.
So you don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've covered what we wanted to cover on hurricane evacuation plans, making sure you have one.
Yes, making sure we have one. And thank y'all for watching Survival Mode.
Yep.
Peace and blessings.
Peace.